Hello again, YouTube. Sunday morning had come around and the weather was a little blustery still and a little wet. I got up bright and early and headed off round the mountain to do a lap ahead of the Jack Wood Memorial Lap for which I had signed up. The weather was very, very windy. In fact, I stopped off to take a photograph at Guthrie's Memorial and could hardly get off the bike because the wind was pinning me to it. So I rode round and I made a second lap and then I made a judgment. It was windy, very windy. I don't know if the Memorial Lap went ahead, but I wasn't prepared to be in close proximity to all those other riders while the weather was as it was. So I decided to mooch about Douglas a bit more and have a look at some of the stuff that was there. It was to become a day of riding around, getting a little bit wet, visiting museums, visiting cafes, visiting the various towns around the Isle of Man, to just look at the visiting bikes and what have you, and basically look at stuff that relates to the island rather than the racing specifically. As the weather continued to be appalling, I headed on back to my digs and huckered down in my room to watch The Magnificent Seven. I'd forgotten what a good film that is. However, I would much rather have been watching bike stuff. Monday dawned and we were all at our hopes pinned for a 9:30 start. But the weather was still, whilst okay, the roads were wet and were slow to clear. So a 9:30 start became a 10:30 start, which became a 12:30 start. Around about this point, Saturday's race, which had been due to been restarted, was called at the one lap that it did on the Saturday. 12:30 became 1:30, became 2 in the afternoon. But finally, at about 20 to 3 in the afternoon, racing got underway.